There are 127 million files sitting inside Bitcoin right now. Images, text, entire magazine covers. And Bitcoin has no idea they're there. They live in a branch of script that Bitcoin is built never to run. In April 2024, a token called DOG, 100 billion units, was born in a single 33-byte note. And RGB does the opposite. Its contracts never touch the chain at all. So, here's the question this whole video hangs on. Where does the truth about a Bitcoin asset actually live? Let's open all three up. Start with the idea, because it's simpler than people think. In late 2021, Casey Rodarmor, an independent developer, wanted NFTs on Bitcoin without changing Bitcoin. And the idea he landed on is almost embarrassingly plain. Number every Satoshi in the order it was mined, and when a transaction spends coins, the sats flow from inputs to outputs, first in, first out. That's ordinal theory. No new token, no new chain. His docs say it works right now. And it gives every sat a rarity. The first sat of each block is uncommon, and there's exactly one mythic, sat 0, from the Genesis block. Now the part most people skip. Inscriptions were plan B. His first design was off-chain. You'd sign a message assigning a picture to a sat, no transaction needed. He demoed it in Austin in June 2022, and it failed. Impossible to run a public server with all NFTs, in his words. So he went looking for somewhere on-chain to stuff content, and Taproot scripts had no size limit, which means an inscription is a piece of script that never runs. OP amise, OP fire, the word ord, the file type, the bytes, OP endif, tucked in the witness, the discounted part of a block. Funny detail, he originally called those script NFTs, runes. And because a script can call other inscriptions by ID, you get recursion, art built from other art, and parent-child provenance, which is how a magazine cover on-chain can render its own children. Then March 2023, an anonymous developer, Domo, inscribed 94 bytes of JSON and called it, quote, a fun experimental standard. That was BRC20. Every mint, every transfer was a brand new inscription. It lit the chain up, and it's the reason runes exists. So runes fixed BRC20's waste by moving the token message off the sat and into an op return. The output every node agrees is unspendable. The message is called a runestone, op turn, then the number 13, then a string of tiny integers that etch a new rune, mint an open one, or transfer with edicts. Every field is a tag, and here's the elegant bit. The tags have parity. Odd tags are cosmetic, decimals, spacers, the emoji symbol. If your indexer doesn't recognize an odd tag, it shrugs. Even tags change who owns what, and if your indexer hits an even tag it doesn't know, or a typo, the message becomes a cenotaph, a gravestone. And a cenotaph doesn't fail gracefully. Every rune going into that transaction is burned, on purpose. The docs call it an upgrade mechanism. An old client marks the coins dead instead of guessing where they went. A security decision that looks like a bug. Look at dog, its whole existence, the name, the dog emoji, 5 decimals, 100 billion pre-mined units, and send them to output 1 is 33 bytes in block 840,000, and the etcher paid 2.9 Bitcoin in fees for the slot. Names unlock on a clock too, 1 letter shorter every 17,500 blocks. The 5-letter tier opened on August 15th, days before this recording, which is why the newest runes are all Z words, Zebra, Zelda, Zorro. And today, over the last 30 days, per Glassnode, roughly 6 in 10 Bitcoin transactions carried a runestone, but they paid about 14% of the fees. High volume, low value, a token rail, not a fee auction. Now flip the whole model over. In RGB, a contract is a file, not an address. Its business logic lives in a schema. Think of it as a class. And the live line has five, from a plain fungible token to a permissioned one where the issuer signs every transfer, like company shares. Ownership sits on a Bitcoin coin. The Utexo is the lock, and the state travels beside it. So Alice wants to pay Bob. Bob hands her an invoice with his coin blinded, so she never learns which one it is. Alice spends her coin, tucks a 32-byte hash into the transaction, an op return, or hidden inside a taproot script, and hands Bob a consignment, the full history back to Genesis. Bob's wallet replays every step and checks the math with a small virtual machine called AluVM. No third party, no explorer. That's client-side validation. And on Lightning, it's the same trick. One extra output on every commitment transaction. Now, who's behind it and what's real? Maxim Orlovsky, a neuroscientist by training, led the protocol from 2019. The live line today is maintained by the RGB protocol team, and its RC11 shipped July 17th. Since July 2025, there have been two branches. I told that story in the 101. What can you actually do? Issue and send assets on mainnet with wallets like Iris and Bitcoin Tribe. Early software, tiny user counts. Utexo, UTEXO, the company Tether, co-seeded with $7.5 million in March, runs a beta bridge that mints a bridged token, tUSDT, that already moves over RGB and over Lightning. And Utexo's own glossary is precise here. That bridged token is one thing. Tether itself issuing USDT natively on RGB is a separate thing, and that has not been announced live by Tether, Utexo, or Bitfinex as we record. Kaleidoswap's banner says live on mainnet. Its own FAQ says signet and testnet. That's not a knock. It's just where the frontier is. So here's the honest thread through all three. Bitcoin validates none of it. To a node, an inscription is skipped script, and a runestone is opaque bytes. Ord's own docs say it plainly. Ord is the normative specification. What Ord says you own is what you own. And that referee has changed the rules on the record. 472,000 inscriptions carry negative numbers forever because Ord's rules changed under them. And this month it happened again. Ord 0.28 shipped a rule that let unspent runes land on a random output. The pull request was titled, "Place Your Bets." And 3 days later, 0.29 reverted it. Fast, no committee, and no process. RGB has no shared indexer to disagree with, but that means the backup is the asset. Iris's own text reads, "You need a backup copy of both the Bitcoin mnemonic phrase and RGB offline data." Then the node operator side, straight from both camps. In October 2025, Bitcoin Core 30 raised the default op return relay limit to 100,000 bytes. Policy, not consensus. So data stops being stuffed into unprunable outputs, as the merging maintainer put it. Bitcoin Knots kept its filters, and about a fifth of public nodes run it. And BIP 110, the soft fork that split off on August 8th, would have made op-ific invalid in TapScript, which is the standard inscription envelope. Ordinals had a Plan B envelope sitting in a pull request for 5 weeks. That same evening, Rodarmor closed it. Phew, close call. Knott's homepage still says the network is under attack. Both sides say the other is the fork. My job is to show you the receipts. So the news pass, because this month was busy. Ordinals. Ord 0.28 on August 2nd added a new collectible attribute, SatLuck. How many more leading zeros a block hash had than it needed? Sat0 scores an 11, a 1 in 2000 hash. Runes. 5-letter names opened August 15th, and Glassnode's counter shows 190 million runestone transactions since the halving. more than every inscription ever. RGB. The association congratulated the team on RC11. RGB.info published Utexo's SDK and bridge demo on August 7th. Bitfinex's blog on July 17th said Tether has yet to confirm an official launch date. And on August 18th, the association posted a fall tour. Seoul on September 1st has a session literally titled Bringing USDT Back to Bitcoin. And AI, honestly. There's no AI in any of these protocols. An indexer is deterministic replay. What arrived is agents holding the assets. Xverse shipped an MCP agent wallet in April that can check, send, and swap runes from a command line. And KaleidosWap built an on-device wallet agent for Tether's own Edge AI hackathon in June. All small, all early. That's the fair sentence. So, where does the truth live? For Ordinals, on-chain and in ords rules. For runes, in 33 bytes, the reader interprets. For RGB, in your own files, Bitcoin only stamps that it happened once. 3 things you can do tonight. Pull up ordinals.com/sat/0 and find the word luck. Open the dog etching on mempool.space and read the op return. And read the cenotaph paragraph on docs.ordinals.com. Go further. Install Iris on testnet, receive 1 consignment, and back it up. And the honest close. Activity is not value. 6 in 10 transactions being runestones tells you a rail is busy, not what anything is worth. Learn the mechanics and decide for yourself. If this helped you see Bitcoin a little differently, subscribe. The 101 on the 4 protocol map is linked below, and every source is on the Notion page. Come find us in the Motion room on Discord. The newsletter link is in the description. Thanks for watching.